Hey everyone, before we jump into today's incredible story, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on more content that highlights the unsung heroes among us. Trust me, you'll want to be here for this. Now, let's talk about the world beneath our feet, the sprawling, intricate network of tunnels that millions of us rely on every single day. For most, it's just a blur of stations and the rumble of an approaching train. Yet for a select few, it's their office, their world. And for one maintenance worker, a man named Leo, it was the stage for something extraordinary. Leo wasn't your typical 9-2-5 EER. His day started when most of ours ended. Clad in a high-vis vest and a hard hat, he'd descend into the quiet dark of the subway system, long after the last train had carried the last sleepy passenger home. His job? To walk the lines, to inspect the tracks, to listen to the silence. It's a job of immense responsibility, but one that often goes completely unnoticed. He and his team are the guardians of our daily commute, the silent protectors ensuring that the morning rush goes off without a hitch. On this particular night, the air in the tunnel was heavy and still, just like any other. The only sounds were the distant drip of water and the crunch of his boots on the gravel. Leo was conducting a routine inspection on a section of track known for its sharp curve, a place where the stress on the steel is at its greatest. He was running his hand along the rail, checking for any imperfections, his senses tuned to the unique environment of the tunnel, and that's when he felt it. It wasn't a loud bang or a dramatic crack. It was something far more subtle, a faint, almost imperceptible vibration under the palm of his hand. It was a tremor so slight that anyone less attuned to the rhythm of the tunnels, would have dismissed it as nothing. Maybe just a settling of the earth, or the rumble of a heavy truck passing on the street far above. His partner, a younger guy named Mike, was a few yards ahead. "Everything good, Leo?" he called back. Leo didn't answer right away. He pressed his hand harder against the cold steel, closing his eyes to focus. There it was again. A low, deep hum that seemed to resonate right up through his bones. It wasn't right. He'd walked these tracks for 20 years. He knew their song, and this was a note he had never heard before. Motioned for Mike to come back. "Feel this," he said, his voice low. Mike placed his hand on the rail, frowned, and shook his head. "I don't feel anything, man. It's probably just the ventilation system kicking in." But Leo knew better. This was different. This was a warning. A silent alarm that only he could hear. Ignoring his partner's skepticism, Leo pulled out his high-intensity flashlight and began a meticulous inspection of the section. He ran his light over every bolt, every plate, every inch of the rail. On the surface, everything looked perfect. The bolts were tight, the track was aligned. From a visual standpoint, it was textbook. This is where most people would have given up, packed up their tools, and called it a night. But Leo's gut, honed by 2 decades of experience, was screaming at him. Got down on his hands and knees, his face just inches from the track. He traced the base of the rail where it met the tie plate, and then he saw it. A hairline fracture. It was almost invisible to the naked eye, a tiny, dark-line spider webbing out from underneath a fastening clip. It was the kind of structural flaw that wouldn't show up on any standard sensor. It was a failure in the making, hidden from plain sight. The vibration he had felt was the steel groaning under immense, invisible stress. With every train that passed over it, that tiny crack would have grown, weakened the integrity of the rail until the unthinkable happened. A packed morning rush-hour train traveling at speed around that curve could have easily derailed. The consequences would have been catastrophic. Hundreds of lives would have been in jeopardy, all because of a crack no bigger than a human hair. Leo immediately radioed it in, described the location, the nature of the fault, his voice calm but firm. The initial response from the control center was doubtful. Their sensors showed nothing wrong. The system was green across the board. "Are you sure, Leo?" "We're not seeing anything on our end." But Leo's reputation preceded him. He wasn't one for false alarms, he insisted. "I'm sure," he said. "Shut down this line. I'm looking right at it. We need a repair crew down here now." There was a pause on the other end of the radio. And then, "Copy that, Leo. Line is being shut down. Crew is on its way." A wave of relief washed over him, but the job wasn't done. He and Mike immediately set up a safety perimeter, placing warning signals down the track to ensure no stray train could enter the section. Within the hour, the specialized repair crew arrived. Using ultrasonic equipment, they confirmed Leo's discovery. Fracture was indeed there, and it ran deeper than it appeared on the surface. The chief engineer on site looked at Leo and simply said, "You have no idea how many lives you just saved." He explained that the specific type of internal fracture was notoriously difficult to detect and was a ticking time bomb. They worked through the night, a symphony of sparks and machinery echoing in the tunnel as they cut out the compromised section of rail and seamlessly welded in a new one. By the time the sun began to rise, the track was secure, stronger than before. The first train of the morning would run on schedule, and its thousands of passengers would have no idea that their journey was almost a very, very different one. They would sip their coffee, read their phones, complain about the crowded cars, blissfully unaware that they owed their safety to a man who listened to the silence. Leo finished his shift just as the city was waking up. He emerged from the subway entrance, blinking in the early morning light. No one gave him a second glance. To the world, he was just another worker in a dirty vest, heading home after a long night. There were no parades, no medals, no news crews. His heroism was as silent as the alarm he had heard. This story is a powerful reminder. It's a reminder that the world is filled with people like Leo. People who take immense pride in their work, whose expertise and dedication form the invisible bedrock of our society. They are the mechanics who spot the faulty brake line, the air traffic controllers who notice a tiny anomaly on their screen, and the food inspectors who catch the contamination before it reaches the shelves. They are the quiet heroes whose diligence prevents disasters we never even know were about to happen. Their reward isn't fame or recognition, it's the quiet satisfaction of a job well done. It's the knowledge that because of them, families are safe, communities are secure, and the world keeps turning smoothly. So the next time you're on a subway, or a plane, or just going about your day, take a moment to think about the countless invisible hands that have worked to ensure your safety. Leo's story shows us that true heroism isn't always about grand, dramatic acts. Sometimes it's about paying attention. It's about listening to that quiet inner voice, that gut feeling that something isn't right. It's about having the courage to speak up, even when others doubt you. It's about a commitment to excellence in the small, unseen details. What did you think of Leo's story? It just goes to show you that heroes are everywhere, often in the places we least expect. Let me know in the comments below if you know any unsung heroes in your own life. I'd love to read about them. Thanks so much for watching, for listening, and for being a part of this community. Don't forget to like this video if it moved you, and subscribe so we can continue to share these important stories together. We'll see you in the next one.